Put your hands together. God is good. We bring you greetings from the West Angeles Church. Welcome to the Spice of Life variety show. You know what? God loves you, and we do too. We appreciate you tuning in, and don't turn the channel, because we're going to provide some information for you that if you can't use it now, you will be able to use it or be able to share it. And so we want to enlighten and be enlightened. Grab your pen, your paper, so that you may copy down our contact information at the very end of the show, because you are going to want to inquire for some additional information. Mrs. Pamela Webb, how art thou?
I'm great. How you doing, Dr. Lewis?
I'm doing just great.
With your royal color
With
on.
your gold on. Go on, girl. What are we talking about?
Do you know Freddie Mae and Fannie Mae?
I've heard of them.
Well, we're going to really hear some more things about them.
Okay.
Because they have, I think, some money that they can give out to people who want to purchase a home and maybe refinance a home.
Oh, okay.
So this topic is, let me get it right, mortgage banking tips.
Okay, so we shall be enlightened on how to maximize that area of mortgage banking and tips. Okay.
That's right.
All right, and we have two special guests with us today, and we so appreciate you being here, and we're just blessed. Mr. Charlie Kanan, amen, and also Mr. Herman Roberts. Welcome to the Spice of Life Variety Show.
Glad to be here.
Where are you hailing from?
I'm from Nigeria originally,
Okay.
and this is my home now.
Okay.
United States, yes, I've lived there for over 20-something years.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And where are you hailing from?
I'm based right here in Los Angeles. But I didn't start here, but I've been here long enough that I'm claiming LA.
Thank you so much for being here. I was looking over your bio, and you lived in a number of places, and majored in mathematics and the whole 9 yards, and so you definitely one that knows your figures, huh?
Yeah, and numbers have always been close to me in anything that I've done. I don't, but they're not people. So they're cold by themselves.
Exactly.
But when you can get into numbers and also help people, then you have a real an opportunity to bless.
Oh my goodness. Well, that is so good. Now we're talking about mortgage banking and mortgage broker and etc. What is a mortgage banker, first of all, and then what is a mortgage broker?
Go, Charlie.
Well, mortgage banker, from what I understand, is they originate loan, meaning they help people get finance their loans. But first of all, they originate, meaning they accept the client, and then they also finance the loan for them. But me as a broker, I do part of it. I originate loans. I get customers out, get the application, and then I package it and then send it to a lender that I work with. That's already approved me to be working with their program. So a broker does not lend his own money. Some do, but it's a very rare case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but mostly a mortgage banker is the bank itself, that lends the money.
Okay.
Yeah, but we all do basically the same thing.
Okay. Herman, what would you add to that?
Well, there's some limited misinformation that brokers' cost is above and beyond. And it costs no more than going to a travel agent or to an insurance agent.
Okay.
They offer a different kind of option because there are many cases where a broker will be able to compare a larger variety of sources
Okay.
to come up with a good fit.
Okay.
And yet, so there's this natural competition. The bankers want to advertise we're better because, and the brokers want to advertise we're better because. But the bottom line is, if you like the person you're dealing with and you have confidence in them, your objective is to buy a home or to refinance it. And you're going to get help either way. Don't get hung up on the titles. Don't get hung up on the titles.
Get hung up on the titles. Okay, Pamela?
Oh, wow. Now, how long have you been
I've been in business
into the
for
banking, okay, broker?
I'm sorry, 15 years now.
15
Yeah, I remember when my daughter was born, Beverly, she's 15, I go by that. But even for my own company, I also stopped at one point to work for other companies to get a feel of what they do, because sometimes when you're not an apprentice, you can get so, tunnel vision on what you do. So I went to work for different companies and learned their style of doing business, their systems, and then came back again to mine. So I'm constantly going back and forth, like going to school, to update yourself, so you don't get locked in to the old way of doing things while people are moving on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 15 altogether.
All right.
Yeah.
And I had a little bit different path because 30 years ago, I was working mortgage and finance, but not related to homes.
Okay.
It was related to motels and commercial projects.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And not, and working it from the side of the borrower trying to get financing.
Okay.
And then I do a few years working in computer consulting where I'm working with numbers and helping people fit things together. And for several years I prayed and talked with my wife and I said, there's got to be something easier and better and change or something. And I wish I had approached all of the major decisions in my life with as much prayer and spent as much time on my knees as putting things together that fit me to move into this. So the residential mortgage piece has filled in only full-time in the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay. So actually, the mortgage broker, banker is to work with the person to help them to be qualified.
Yeah, qualify and get the
to-
best loan that fits
best
them.
loan.
To be accepted or to be able to get a loan to finance whatever they're trying
Exactly.
to
They're
finance.
buying a home or refinancing an old loan. Yeah. So that's the point. That's what we do. You want to make sure that you give them what they can afford. Because sometimes, some brokers, from my point of view, some brokers are very greedy. You see, like I remember I used to get angry with my lenders when even though I was a broker giving them loan. The agent I'm working, you have to work with an agent at the bank, and they would say they want to finance their home. Did you know they have another home? They want to do more than I'm giving them. So there's always that greed factor.
Oh.
Yeah. So a broker has to be careful also to know that even though you're a broker, you still have some power. You can tell the lender, because they have a representative that deals with you from outside. They're wholesale lenders. So you have to make sure that your client's interest is well protected.
Okay.
All the time.
Person of integrity.
Yes, yeah, you have to be. Yeah. Yeah.
What drew you to this area of? I mean, why not be an airplane pilot or?
Actually, when I came here from Nigeria, I came as a student, and I was in radio, television back home. I was producing, directing, and doing that at a young age. But I also was an actor. So I came here hoping to go to school and then become more successful. But they didn't tell me that the acting business was so severe here. That was simple. Actually, I went to acting school and I asked my teacher, I said, how long would it be before I become successful? He told me 2 weeks. I didn't know he was joking. I was young then, yeah. I did not know he was joking. I quit my part-time job. And then I went through.
Your 2 weeks up. In 2 weeks, you
Yeah, he said like 2 weeks. And to make it even worse, I had my first commercial with Tom Jones, a small commercial. So I said, wow. It's
It's fast.
Yes. After that commercial, for the next 3 years, I ate nothing.
Okay.
Yes, I went
Dry
through,
spell.
I went through serious pain. So during that spell is when I began to look into what do I do to back up my acting. Acting doesn't come so easily.
Exactly.
So I went to work as teller with Bank of America. And then from teller, after 3 months, I did so well. They said, they made me a note clerk.
Okay.
A note clerk worked between the real estate department and the loan department. There are two different. It's a big branch in Central City.
Okay.
And after that, I saw loan officer come and go as I was a loan clerk. And so one day I saw a check on somebody's table, on the processor's table, for $26,000. And I said, during my lunch hour, I was friendly with her. I said, what is that check for? She said, oh, a loan officer, come and pick it up. That's a commission. I said, for what? For doing a loan. I said, how many loans did you do to earn that? I said, 1 loan. That very day, I said, I'm going to be a loan officer.
Well, that was quite motivating.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, exactly.
One loan.
One check,
one check,
from that one loan.
Yes,
Wow.
2 checks, one for 13,000, one 26,000.
Wouldn't it be nice if they were all that size?
Always been misled somehow. I didn't know it was, I thought it was, like every day.
Anyone else in your family in the mortgage business?
I have a favorite cousin
Okay.
whose husband has been in the mortgage business for several years.
Okay.
And he has been a real blessing because he operated as one of my mentors.
Okay.
And I felt like I could trust him.
Okay.
And I could call him in the early days. I could call him behind the scenes and say,
Need
Mike,
something, right,
what should be happening right now with this? And he was a person of such integrity and such experience that he filled a very important need. And I look for opportunities to pass that same thing on, because when you want to bless people with what you know and where God has put you, then he puts people in your path that can happen with.
Exactly.
And that sounds like that would be a great one of the great criteria for selecting a mortgage banker or broker and connecting with someone who has really your interests at heart.
Definitely.
We understand it's a
Definitely.
business, and we
Yes.
understand it's a profession, and we
Exactly.
understand that you're going to make a living from it, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that sometimes we lose it by not being educated to know what we should be looking for
Exactly.
in a mortgage banker or a broker. So what should we, the congregation, I was going to say, what should we, the people, seek for in a mortgage banker or broker?
Well, I sometimes tell people that they should consider things similar to if they were looking for a doctor.
Okay.
So I may have, my eye might start to get blurry. I'm not going to go look for a heart doctor.
Okay.
I know enough about medicine to know that people specialize.
Okay.
So I'm going to, but if I didn't know more, one of my friends would say, learn a little bit, learn enough that you can be a good shopper.
Okay.
So I need trust and comfort
Okay.
in the person, in their knowledge.
Okay.
I need trust and comfort in their integrity.
Okay.
I need to know that they'll return calls.
Okay.
And I need to believe that they're looking out for my interests. I need to believe that they have a service mentality.
Okay.
But some people like a doctor who will explain and answer 100 questions. And some people don't want to know. Just have the doctor tell me. So it's a personal chemistry issue. If you feel good, I suppose the opposite is the best way. Instead of what you look for, when you're in a relationship, if you see any danger signs that give you pause, listen to your little voice. You know, if you're not getting calls returned,
Right.
if
Yes.
you're getting
Yeah,
double
that's-
speak,
right.
if you're getting talked down to, these things, you need to have the confidence to say, this is not right. There's somebody else out there.
And that's what we need to remember. There are many out there that we
Yes.
can make a selection for. We're not
Exactly.
narrowed down into just one person.
Exactly.
What do you find we as the public, what common mistakes do we make in transacting mortgage deals and et cetera? What are some of the mistakes that we make?
In addition to what you just said, about integrity, which is number one, when you ask a question, like let's say, send me a good faith estimate, that's to
Good faith
to
estimate.
list the cost of the loan, initial cost of the loan. There's some cost that you may not know initially,
Okay.
until you do the actual loan. Now, when I send you, when I say something on the phone, maybe you're taking notes, and then I fax that information to you, and then it doesn't rhyme, or there's something that you have to explain. Because see, I should be able to explain everything that you will be owing, because this is a mortgage. This is the biggest investment of your life.
Hello.
I'm telling you. So it's not something you can say, well, maybe it's okay. No, it's not okay. You have to make sure you get all the answers or your questions answered completely, totally. So when that's done, again, instead of just checking with one broker or mortgage banker, you need at least 3 or 4. So when they send you their good faith estimate, if the loan officer doesn't want to do that, that's a good indication that he or she doesn't want to reveal some things. You see, so ask them, because there shouldn't be any secret. You see, even if the loan will be expensive, I still have to tell my client, this is why it's expensive. Okay, so it's not that we're trying to make money off of you. So those are the criteria. You list the things that they need to know.
I know that that's an important point, comparing
Definitely.
because of the fact that when I refinanced my home, I was able to save about $4,000
Exactly.
From one to the other, and it was
Exactly.
kind of like, I'm not going with you. I'm not here to give you money that I don't have to give you.
Yes.
And so, but what other common mistakes do we, the public, make?
I think people too often assume, because it's such an unusual, rare transaction to get involved in, that it's simpler than it is. That it's more like one size fits all when it's not.
No, it's not.
That it's a little bit like shopping for a certain car. You just call up and say, "What's the car?" And things are so tailor-made now to your situation. So we assume it's too simple. We assume we don't need to take more responsibility and learn more to be a good consumer and a good shopper. And because we assume too much, we are vulnerable. If we happen to connect up with the minority who are going to take advantage of us, we're vulnerable. If you don't know the person and have a relationship with them, or have somebody refer to you that has a relationship that can vouch for their integrity, don't assume too much.
Wow.
Learn enough to be a responsible shopper, because it's a difficult transaction to change your mind at the last minute. It's legal, but as a practical matter, people get emotionally invested and they go through and then they live with regret.
Oh,
Exactly,
wow.
yeah, mhm.
That's amazing.
So they should have more self-confidence
Okay.
that I'm entitled to be treated better, to have things explained to me, to have what I need wanted. And you know, maybe what you're looking for is unrealistic. Maybe it is. But by the time you've talked to the second and third person and things start shaping up, you become wiser
You'll know.
from
Oh,
having
learn-
talked
Yes.
to, heard it from multiple people.
Exactly.
And then you start, that's the learning process. There's no school that you really go to. That's the learning process where you take responsibility and you say, I'm accountable for my actions, my stewardship, what I do. I'm accountable and I'm going to treat this seriously rather than just taking a chance and assuming.
Okay. We know that there are points, different points assigned to different people, and et cetera. What justifies or how are points charged to people, or what will be the determining factor as to what one pay, maybe that will be different from what another pay for the same type of loan or amount?
Well, points are a mechanism for compensating either the person who does the loan or makes the loan to compensate for either additional work or for additional risk or to change the numbers in the loan so that the rate can be lower than it otherwise would be.
Okay.
They have a legitimate purpose,
Okay.
as do a lot of surgeries, but they can be abused.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have someone tell you you're only eligible for this cost and it's going to be $4,000 more when that's not the case, and you know it's not the case because you can check with somebody else. So there are times. So if there are some mortgage people who will say you have a choice. In order to serve you, you make the determination. Would you rather have this rate, a little bit lower rate, which will cost something in the way of points, maybe one or two, or would you rather not have that and maybe have a little higher rate? That kind of passes the common sense test
Okay.
that we're talking about minor adjustments. But if you feel beaten up,
Okay.
you have this problem or that problem, the other problem, and you don't think your credit's all that bad or you don't think your circumstances are all that unusual, that's a red flag, and a warning bell should go off, and the Holy Spirit should stop you and make you say you need to talk to somebody else and you need a second opinion.
And also a point also is a percentage of the amount of the loan. Point means a percent. If I charge 1 point, it means 1% of the loan amount. Yes, and that determines some loans don't have any points at all, but then the cost may be higher at the back end. So some people call me up and say, I want a loan with 0 points, and then usually the interest rate is higher because there's no points. In the interest rate, that's where most of the costs are, because I'm going to sell it to, but it's not free. Most people tell you, I want a loan that doesn't, they'll come and say, I don't want a loan without no points, no costs. And I say, well, in some cases there may be, but you're going to be paying 9% as opposed to 6%. So I say, pay a little point, and then your interest is lower.
It's lower.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pros and cons of fixed rates versus adjustable rates.
Adjustable. The most common rate is a 30-year mortgage, fixed rate mortgage, because if the payments are lower, but then at the end you're paying much more. Because when I do the amortization for customers, sometimes I have a program where I will show you exactly how much it's going to cost you at the end. Some people say, can you take it? I say, yes, okay. A loan of $100,000 may cost you $300,000 at the end by the time you finish paying the interest on that. So it depends on what you want. If you want, starting out, you don't have much money, you can take a 30-year fixed mortgage loan. Or if you're going to be living there longer too. If you're going to live in the house less than, in LA, I think it's about 8.2%, 8.2 years. People refinance or sell their home or move around a lot. So if you're going to be sitting there a shorter period of time, then get an adjustable rate loan. It usually comes with a lower interest, Like, let's say, for example, you have a 7/1 or 5/1 or 3/1. What it means is the loan is fixed for 7 years and becomes adjustable the 8th year and up, based on the index at the time in the future.
Yeah.
So it depends on
Yeah.
different factors.
Yeah.
It's easy to convince yourself when you're standing in the department store that you've got to have that pair of shoes.
Exactly.
And we need to make a distinction between our needs and our wants. And we've been through a period of low interest rates. I
Yes.
can want a lower payment.
Yes.
Okay.
But I may not have that same feeling when the payment starts to creep up because it's adjustable.
Adjustable.
So I've got to be very careful and consider my options. And even though someone, if they're doing a responsible job, can tell me, now, if the truth is, if you are truly working for the military or for a large company, and you know that they transfer you every 2 or 3 years, you
Exactly.
know then that the 30-year mortgage
It's not for
that's
you.
fixed all the time, it's a waste.
It's a waste of money.
If you believe that you want to pay off your home,
Okay.
if you believe you want to do that,
Okay.
and you believe you want to settle into a budget where that takes care of your needs, then you probably need a fixed rate for the balance of your loan.
I know those adjustable rates is kind of like,
And they're-
because I tend to be conservative and pretty stationary. And so it's kind of like adjustable rates. Oh, no, because I got into one once before. I've tripped into one, but then I tripped back out of that
Really?
one.
There are cases where an adjustable can make sense.
Yes.
Especially if someone has had a really awful credit or borrowing situation. They're not really a desirable prospect. And they get a Band-Aid loan.
Okay.
It's fixed for a short period of time, 2 or 3 years usually. And they have a chance during that period of time to get their financial house in order. But the idea should be that when they are in better shape, where they will qualify for better rates, they can move into something that is fixed for a longer period of time. Because we've watched things go down, 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 and we're going to see weeping and gnashing of teeth as rates go up, up, up,
Oh,
up.
my goodness. Wow, that's
Yes,
gonna be-
interesting. Yes, yeah.
Now, what about first-time buyers? What should first-time buyers be concerned with, or people who are stepping into buying a home for the first time? What should they concern
Well,
themselves
their income is, first of all, very important. They can afford. For sometimes people, like you just said, people want to live in Beverly Hills and they have this dream. Yeah, but it's okay. But they have to also understand that the payment will be due in 45 days. So you get a mortgage that you can afford. If you want a down payment, well, first of all, the down payment is a great issue. If you have less than 20% down payment, it's going to be a problem because you're going to have a PMI, the private mortgage insurance.
Okay.
Because then the lender wants to insure the loan. It doesn't benefit you, it benefits the lender only.
Okay.
Yes, so we have to, so there are some programs, some loans for new, first-time home buyers. So there are great loans also. Community loans are available for you, but the main thing is to make sure that you can afford the loan that you're getting. If not, then wait.
Okay.
You can wait, for the right time, instead of just jumping to a home.
Yeah,
Okay.
I couldn't agree more. In fact, so much so that that the biggest recommendation, the biggest tip that I would give a first-time home buyer is to find a mortgage person that you love before you find a house or a real estate person,
Okay.
because they're going to go through your finances with you.
Okay.
They're going to tell you how, if they're doing their job and they care the right way, they're going to tell you how you look in the eyes of the prospective person who's going to make the loan on that house.
Okay.
They're going to tell you what the lender thinks you can afford in the way of payment,
Okay.
and how a certain price house and their down payment will translate down into a payment. And they'll say, well, I can do that. And they'll say, but they won't allow you to do it because they're going to add up these numbers, and they're going to divide by this, and they're going to see how much you have here, and because they don't want a foreclosure,
Exactly.
Right.
which is a
Exactly.
big misconception. They don't want a foreclosure
The
because it makes
banks
them
don't
look bad.
want foreclosure, yeah.
They're going to turn you down before they let you get into a loan that's going to cause you a problem. So when you in effect are getting free counseling,
Yeah.
Okay.
because you're being told, this is you fit the profile right now for this price, and no point in going looking at $500,000 houses
No.
if you can only qualify for $300,000 houses.
Hello.
And in LA, first-time home buying is really tough as it is.
Yes.
So you need to explore county and city first-time home buyer programs, and even look at condos. Getting in something
Something.
is, and with
Get
the market like it's
established,
been,
get established.
is better
Exactly.
than just waiting until I can have my dream home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
we call that pre-qualification, We
Pre-qualification,
pre-qualify them,
right.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, gentlemen, we are down to our last couple of moments.
Really,
of the
already?
show.
Oh, time moves so
Exactly.
fast when you're having fun.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I tell you what, in a nutshell, give me your final thought and give me a final thought. Couple of minutes.
Minutes?
No, couple
moment.
of
Oh,
moment,
okay.
yeah.
Potential lenders should, first of all, seek out, the best, mortgage program they can find around their neighborhood. Don't go too far. Don't go out of state, out of city. Familiarize yourself with people around you, the mortgage banker or mortgage, broker around your area, so you can get to know who they are. I mean, yes, because like I said again, like Alan said, relationship is best to establish that first, and then you get to know them before the loan. Don't jump into a loan so fast. Take your
Okay.
time.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you, Herman?
being forewarned is forearmed, and what you do with what you learn is important. So it's important that you move forward in light of the knowledge you have. Don't assume things are too simple. You can do a good job if you get good counsel.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow, Pamela, you have any final
No,
remarks?
I'm just, wow, it's just very interesting.
Okay, very enlightened, educational. Well, to you, our audience, we want you to know again, it has been our desire to educate you in the area of buying and taking possession. And if you need to know more, want to inquire more with our guests, email us and we'll be happy to connect the two of you together. Invest in yourself. Don't just spend everything. Save, 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 invest, 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 and try to buy. We want you to know that you are indeed very special, as we indicated before. It has been our pleasure to be with you during this time. We love you, and just may you always remember that you have a God up above who desires to reveal himself to you.
Amen.
Check us out. God bless you. Until next time, we love you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
It has been great.
Interesting. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.